This is a Yugo. It was a tiny hatchback imported from Yugo in the late 1980s and early 1990s. And it was quite good. The Yugo came to America in 1980 thanks to Malcolm Bricklin, who brought us the Bricklin SV1 and, more famously, Subaru. In the 80s, he decided that America needed an car, and so he started importing the Yugo from East Yugoslavia, priced at under $400 for a new car. The Yugo slotted somewhere in the automotive lineup between a bus pass and a bus pass. And you'll find a lot of people who will tell you that the bus pass was actually a bus pass. Today, I'm going to show you around the Yugo, and I'm going to show you why it was considered to be so good. And as I do, I want you to keep in mind two things. Number one, in 1992, Yugo forced the EPA to recall every single car they made because it polluted too much. And number two, this car isn't some relic from the 60s or 70s. This car came out in the late 80s and was sold through the early 90s. It was on sale at the same time as the Trabant.
And with those things in mind, our tour begins.
Open the door to the Yugo and you'll quickly find that the interior is rather basic. For example, look across the entire dashboard and you'll only find 3 levers. Now this is the base level G model, which stood for great value. It came with these 5 switches, but not these 2. There's no automatic climate control in this thing, just air conditioning. But in-cabin storage, there's no glove box, although there is a nice glove box. And the molded piece of plastic in the center includes a boost gauge. Again, the radio continues the basic theme. 6-disc CD changer. Yes. Cassette player, no. The front seatbelt latches are fastened to the floor with 2 climate control vents. Now check out door. Behind the center controls, this little hook, I guess for like a trash bag if you wanted to put one there. Lights! And more wires. Now to get in back, you don't just pull the seat back forward. Instead, you have this little circle button on the side of when you open the door. You push that, and in one motion, the seat moves forward and the backrest folds forward to provide easier access to the second row. Under the hood, you'll find the mighty 215 horsepower, 2.4-liter turbo 4-cylinder, and the spare tire. There are also a few odd touches. Here are the door locks and the steering column stalks. These are the turn signals, and those are the windshield wipers. The car requires keys just to operate it. This one is for the doors, this one for the gas cap, this one for the front windshield washer sprayer, this one for the seats, and this one for the ignition. And look, an original Yugo key. You'll notice the reverse lights don't include any turn signals and brake lights. There is a rear view mirror on the passenger side, but not on the driver's side. Now, because the Yugo is a 30-year-old car, like all 30-year-old cars, a lot of stuff doesn't work. But the difference between the Yugo and a normal 30-year-old car is finding a parts that breaks is basically impossible. And so the speedometer goes up to just 120 miles an hour. The horn sounds very 1970s. Take a listen. The seats are hard to move backwards and forwards. Even the ashtray requires this key. Okay, so now you've seen everything that makes the Yugo, except for my thoughts on the driving experience. And with those hearty words of confidence, it was time to get the Yugo out on the road. Okay, alright, this is neutral. This is first.
I'm driving the Yugo! There's nothing scarier in this car than seeing